Hello everybody. So a few days ago I searched the internet for RTLSDR NFC and I found this very interesting blog post by Jean Christophe Rona where he decodes the signals from his coffee machine at work, I suppose, using an RTLSDR stick. His hardware setup looks like this, with a phone case as an antenna, and I thought I'd see if we could reproduce this. He has made a gnuradio block that actually decodes the signals from the reader to the tag. I'll post the link to this blog post and his GitHub in the description. Pretty straightforward. You clone the GitHub. I had to install CMake on Ubuntu 18.04 and I think Doxygen also. But yeah, pretty much straightforward. I couldn't get it working on gnuradio 3.8, so this is all on 3.7 something. Since I did not have such a fancy phone case antenna like this, I had to also search the internet for NFC antennas, which brought me to antennatheory.com, which basically, tells us that that an NFC antenna is not a real antenna at all. So my hardware setup now would look something like this. I also don't have a coffee dispenser, so I have to use an ACR USB NFC reader. And the antenna I came up with looks a little bit like this. So let's see. We stick this in here. Highly professional lab setup. And to send some APDUs to the card. Whoops. Let's place this here. Let's see if this works. To actually send some APDUs to the card, I'm using a simple modification of the APDU example from libNFC, which basically sends a lot of 42. Let's see if this works. So we'll start gnuradio. The flow graph is basically the same as in his blog post. You have complex to MAC, a constant binary slicer, then the modified Miller decoder, and then a file sync. I added some syncs here and there. Most important for me was actually the audio sync, to be able to hear the signal. And instead of using the RTLSDR source, I'm using the Osmocom source, which also gives you a channel bandwidth. I went somewhat closer to the actual signal than what he describes. So yeah, let's just see this in action and see if it works. So we press the button execute and nothing happens until we actually look at this file. So I also added some sliders here for some values, like most important, the the frequency slider, and also one for the channel width and the various gains, and this one, what this one does is actually you can adjust the, yep, there we are. You can shift the signal up and down to get just to the threshold where it's, yeah, it's, so let's see if this works. Oops, that was wrong. So, as you can see, it does not work. What I had to do, actually, let's see if we can plug out. Yeah. What helped for me was to actually be able to hear the signal. This sounds almost like a signal, and we get an output. So we do this again. It's like you can see, it's not all decoded correctly, of course, but 42. That's exactly what we sent. Yeah. There we are. You could probably fine-tune a bit the gain and the frequency a bit more, and also the add const. Oops, no, not with this one. That's the channel width. So here you can shift the signal up and down a bit. And let's run this just one more time. This did not work. So let's go up a bit. Oops. And the wrong one. So now we're shifting the signal up a bit. Which was not enough. Ah, there we get some. Yeah. And there we have it. Oops. yeah, you can fiddle a bit with the settings, I suppose, but yeah, that's it. On NFC with an RTLSDR. Have fun. I'll put the links in the description.